Well, hey there. We are going to be replacing a 2007 Dodge Grand Caravan SXT passenger side mirror. I saw a couple guides on YouTube about this. None of them were correct for this model. I think they're all similar, and I was able to kind of fumble my way through it, so I figured I'd give you the quick rundown on how to do this the right way. So all you're going to need for this, it's a pretty simple fix. I got a basic headlamp, just give me some light when I'm inside, because you're going to disconnect the battery. You've got a T27 Torx. This is a security bit. You don't need a security bit. A regular one works fine. You're going to need a small flathead screwdriver just to pop the plate, which I'll show you in a second. And you're going to need a 10mm socket to disconnect the battery, and also to take out a couple of bolts inside for some handles that'll get you access to the cable. So not all models have that, but this one does, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So first thing, let's pop the hood, disconnect the negative on the battery, and then we'll get started. So I went ahead and pop the hood. Here's our battery. I got my headlamp on. Just going to take the negative off on this so that when we have the doors open and such, we're not wearing down our battery. If you haven't done it before you do this, go ahead and put the passenger window down. It's going to make things a lot easier later. After the passenger window is down, take the battery out, and now we're safe to do whatever we need to do without killing a battery. So this mirror had a run-in with the side of the garage. You can see we busted up the plastic pretty good, and the mirror popped off the bracket on the inside, so it's just kind of duct taped in place for a couple days till we got the spare one in. What we bought and what I found was, we originally bought just a power mirror because that's what we thought we had. There's no symbol on the 07 Grand Caravan SXT to tell you that it is a heated mirror, but when we took it apart, we found that there is indeed 5 wires running to the harness, not 3. 3 would be power, 5 is power and heat. So I actually had to exchange it for the heated version, and that's what this is here. It's just a depot, bought it on Amazon. It was like 35 bucks, way cheaper than the 260 or whatever the dealer's going to quote you. So for a simple fix, check that out. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get under this plate. Now you can see there's actually, you can go under this plate like this. There's a clip right here. You can get your finger under there and start popping that, and the whole thing kind of wiggles and pulls up. And it is tight. I'm going to get some of these clips out. See if I can get on this side. There it goes. That was a little more violent than last time. But it usually pops out, and then you pull straight up off of that to expose your first 2 bolts. There's actually 3 holding it on. So now we have our T27 Torx. And we're going to go ahead and take out this bolt first at the back, because we don't have to change anything for that. Okay. The next one, you actually have to fold the mirror back. So we're going to take this back. We'll get access to this guy. Now before you take the third one out, I'll show you where it is in a second here. You're probably going to want to disconnect your cable on the inside first, because once you take this third one out, the thing's just hanging there and all that weight's on the cable. So let's stop here, pop inside, and get the third one, or get the cable first before the third one. To see the third bolt, you open the door and you'll see, ta-da, it's just kind of hidden in there. So we're going to leave that one in place for now. Let's get the harness undone. All right, now this is where the headlamp comes in handy, because it's pretty dark in here inside with the battery power cut. So this model has a handle on the SXT. I don't know if they all do. If they don't, it's a lot easier. You literally just grab your trim here and pop it off. There's only one clip holding, and it's somewhere down here, and it just takes this whole side piece off. Because we have this handle, there's actually a couple of bolts holding it in. So we got to pop these plates to get access to the bolts, and these literally just pop right out too. So get up in there and pull down, just like that. can see, get my light in there, that's also a T10 or a 10 millimeter socket. So everything's the same, which makes that a little handy, and you don't always get that when you're working on cars. Sometimes you'll get very random sizes for different things, but it seems like on this one they did all right. Pop this down and put the camera down to get it. All right, I got that one loosened up. So what you'll see on these when you put them back, this one I think is pretty standard. There's this base clip back here is at the very back of the clip. The other one in comparison rides up a little bit, so it's kind of back in there. And you'll also see a star on mine at least, and the star is the one that goes on the top of the handle when you're putting it back together, not the bottom. They are different shapes, so be aware of that. Grab your socket and undo these bolts. And once I get those out, the handle will literally fall off, so kind of catch it. I want to put the camera down so I can grab this, I don't drop it. And I'll get the last one out. Handle just pops off here. I don't want to drop that bolt, so keep that. So now, this trim should pop off just like the ones without handles. You can kind of watch how this goes here. So I'm going to pull down, it just snaps right out. If you look down in there, there is one clip, that guy right there, that is holding that in. And then this whole thing kind of wiggles free. If you watch on the dashboard line, if I just kind of pull this out, there is kind of a line, if you see on the left there, that this has to sit on top of when you put it back. Or else you have a gap between this piece and that little track there. You'll have a gap between this piece and your dashboard there. So what I've seen on some videos is people saying, hey, if you pop this piece, you can get your hand down in here. There's no way. I mean, that is 2 fingers wide, and the harness that you're looking for is like back here. I couldn't do it, couldn't figure it out. You have no access from the mirror side if you take that off first. You have no access from the glove box to come up from underneath because you've got all of this stuff in the way here. And it's actually kind of a metal wall there to get over to this. So what I've found, if you take the speaker grill here, just like how this has one clip up in here, this has one clip and it's back here. Just grab the side, don't pull on the front console here, just back here on the speaker grill, pop up, just like that. Oh look, there's your speaker, and what you're looking for, if I can get the camera on it, some light, is this right here. This is your mirror plug, okay? It is kind of like riveted, plastic rivet or something into a metal hole, so it's stuck there. You're not going to drop it, it's not going to go anywhere. But see how I got 5 wires running into that? It's kind of hard to tell on here. But that is how I figured out pretty quickly I had a heated mirror. Normal heated mirrors in cars, a lot of times you'll see it have a little heat symbol or something on the glass. This doesn't have it. Has the objects closer than they appear warning on there, but it doesn't have the little heat symbol. What I did find out is it kicks on when you turn on your rear defroster. You turn that on, heated mirrors kick on, there you go. We didn't even know we had it. We park in the garage, and so it was kind of a surprise when I found that. But so I've already detached the cable from this one last time I was in here. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull that third bolt out and take the mirror off the outside. To detach the cable yourself, there's just a little squeezy black clip. Grab it, push it down, wiggle the cable free. So let's go out and take that mirror off. Have to keep the door open to get to it. And that's our guy right there. And this mirror's gonna fall, so I'm gonna grab one hand on that and put the camera down while I take this off. All right, so here's the mirror I just pulled off. Here's my plug on it. I actually cut the cable on this last time I was in here so that I didn't have to worry about hooking it back up when I was just waiting on the heated version to come in. So you can see same 5 wires running into this guy that I have on the new one. What does kind of concern me, and we'll see how it goes, is this wire is a lot longer than the replacement. Some of the reviews I read said that wire on the new one was pretty short. So we might have to pop that harness out of the plastic peg out of the hole there to move the wire and give us some slack. But the connector's the same, so I'm not worried about hooking it up. It's just a matter of distance. We'll see what happens. And here is the replacement one. Like I was saying, seems like a pretty short cable, but we'll see. So let's get this guy wire through that big hole, and then we're going to bolt this guy on, and it should be a direct fit for what you had before, and I'll be back. Okay, so we got all the bolts in, 1, 2, and 3. What I did find is true in many things is that you want to get them all started before you tighten them up, because 2 out of 3 can be in and that third one just won't fit. Loosen them up a bit, you'll get a little wiggle room, you can get that third one started, then tighten them all down. So now we've got the cover, which should snap on just like the old one did. So this, if you look at it, you've got just that one slot there, and then you got a small one on here, the big one there. That's it, little one over there. So those 3 are going to fit down in here, right there, over there, and then over on that side. So get it kind of lined up there, snap it in place. And then you do have that one little tab back here to lock it in. Let's see if I can get it left-handed. Switch hands. Now it might have to bend out slightly this way. Yeah, get a screwdriver to help me out. Gotta find my screwdriver first. Okay. So give me a little leverage on the other side here. So I get some leverage on that side, and then I'll let me push in that tab first. And pull the screwdriver out, and the whole thing should kind of click in, like so. All right, so let's move on to the inside. What I found is I took my trim piece earlier and just kind of using that to give me some leverage on this piece, so I'm not scraping my hand all on these clips the whole time. My wire running in from my mirror out here now is still kind of in the wall here, and if you look, get my light in there just right, you can see it shining in there. So I'm going to come into here and pull that through. There's that, and let's see if we have any chance of making that connection. We do. Wow, good. It's just right, actually. So let's see if I can figure this guy out. I think when I unhooked it, the push part of the clip is on the bottom of this connector. So let's see if I can get him in there without having to put the phone down. Not easily. Let me get right back to you. So my mistake, it was actually not on the bottom, it was on the far away side. So close to the engine. I guess the engine could be down from this point, but closer to the front of the vehicle is where the clip went. So it slides in, you'll hear a little click. Keep pushing harder, you'll hear the spring of the compression clip pop. It'll give you a little satisfying click noise, then you know you're actually locked in. At this point, before you reassemble everything, test the mirror. So get your key in the accessory position, check that you have your at least your motor working. You're not going to be able to test the heat too well, but if you have a working motor, that's the important part at this point. So to test that mirror, we need our power. Let's get our battery back connected here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it into the accessory mode here. Make sure the blower motors are off, don't need to drain the battery. And we're going to check out our right mirror and see if we can control this guy. Oh, beautiful. Left, right, up, down. We're doing good. I'd say that's a success, so let's put it back together.
All right, back over here on the passenger side. I'm gonna take my trim piece out of my dash here. I'm gonna let that clip, which you can see right above the speaker there. That's the clip. I'm gonna let that drop back down in that hole. And it pretty much locks in by itself. You don't really have to pop it in. There, it's locked. Now, like I was saying, you've got that track over here. So we're gonna line up with our piece here. And you can see it's got just kind of a straight edge. And that's gonna fit right into that track. So we've got to get that guy in there the best we can. And you've got this whole rubber trim here. Make sure that's on the right side of this here. And that's going to go all the way up. You have to make sure you don't pinch that in the wrong spot. Get that under there. And then make sure your clip gets re-engaged. You'll hear it click, which I believe it's down here. Gotta find it. Let's take a look. Oh, it's down here. Okay. So if my handle is here, I'm down here. And there it goes. So that's locked in. I can move these guys back into place. Make sure my rubber trim is on the right side here. Switch hands. There we go. That kind of pops in up there too. So that's all tight. How's my gap down here? Good. Don't have any massive weirdness there. So now I've got some handles to bolt back on here. Remember, the star piece goes up top, and I'll crank that on and be right back. A bit to note about the handle as far as which direction it goes. It does matter because it is contoured to the van. You'll see there's some keys here. So this is a wider piece than that, which is a kind of a Phillips head looking little plastic piece versus a elongated blade. And those line up with, on your handle, you have a larger hole there and a smaller hole there. So that kind of gives you the directionality on your handle as well. Alright, after you've got that handle decently tight, you're going metal to metal, and that is what people are going to be pulling on to pull their body weight out. So hand tight, but give it a little extra. And once that's on, remember your star base piece is your top clip. And you've got two side tabs and then that back tab, and it just kind of pops into place there. And then we've got our bottom one. Side tab. Side tab, snaps in.
Alright, that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. So that was longer than it should have been just because I was filming a video, but in reality, probably would have taken about 15 minutes. When you go to the dealer and they say it's going to be 260 bucks to replace that mirror, it's kind of nuts. 35 bucks, buy the part on eBay or Amazon or something like that, and it looks pretty good when it's done.
So here it is. This is the fixed new mirror. Power everything works. Like I was saying, just like the factory, there is no heated symbol at all. You don't see that. You can't. There it goes. Focus. Yeah, there's nothing down there to show you it's a heated mirror on the driver's or passenger side. Sometimes I've heard it's on one and not the other. It's nothing. So do check that first. If you want to just pull the side off and check the wiring, if there's 3 wires, you know you don't have heat. If there's 5, you have heat. We don't have auto tent. We don't have any of the other you know, memory mirrors or anything like that. But I think the dealer part was 160 bucks plus labor, and it was a very expensive repair. Kind of ridiculous. It was 1, 2, 3 bolts, 2 because I have a handle, you know, 1 for disconnecting the battery, and then other than that, you're literally just plugging in cables. So very simple. Have at it.